See what happens. I'm live. Hey, everybody. Okay, so I hit the button, and now it should be working. Like I said, Jamie's not here with us today, so I'm on my own, and I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to do the technology very well. Um, I'm going to do my best to make this work. So far, so good. Um, I'm off this weekend. I was supposed to be doing an event, but they did not agree to mandating vaccines. So I pulled out, and I'm home. And Jamie's in the studio working with an artist singing background vocals in North Carolina this weekend. So here I sit solo, trying to run the broadcast as well as play music, talk to you, read the chats, get the maestro in, and if anything goes wrong, fix it. Good luck to me. I don't know how to do this. Hopefully nothing will go wrong. We're grieving the death of Nanci Griffith this week. She was a hero of mine, an influence on my understanding of all things folk music, and we're going to talk about that quite a bit today. Nanci passed away day before yesterday, and it's hit me pretty hard. What a couple of months, man. David Olney, John Prine, Nanci Griffith, my folk heroes are leaving this planet, and man, I'm sad. I also have been teaching quite a bit. We had a workshop here in Nashville. 20 people, fully vaccinated, came. And we had a great 3 days at Thistle Farms, which is a wonderful cafe run by women who live at Magdalen House in Nashville. And good food, good people, good cause. Then we flew to Colorado, and I taught songwriting for a week out there at the Lions, in Lyons, Colorado, at the Rocky Mountain Folk Festival. That went well. And yeah, I'm sorry for people who are just finding out that Nanci has passed. I hate to be the one to inform you, but yeah, Nanci Griffith has passed away, and it's a sad, sad time. So I've been working with songwriters a lot, and I've been reading sections of the book a lot, and working on flights, and hopefully continuing to travel in safe ways as the road goes on. We're moving closer towards vaccine mandates at the venues, which is going to be a difficult thing for them to enforce, but probably even more difficult to keep it going without it. So we'll see how it goes. But I had the weekend off because of a snafu in that arena. So here I am, and it's good to see the comments. It's good to see folks hopping on. I'm going to go ahead and play a song or two, read a little bit, and then we'll visit the maestro in Italy and see how Michele's doing. Well, the grasses are swaying, sun's going down, music's playing. You're weaving through town, pull into the driveway, toss it in park. Stare out of the windshield, out into the world. It was all for the love of a reckless girl who left you with a second place smile and a broken heart. And the street lights are starting to flicker to life. They glow for a minute, then they get bright, fireflies light up, circle and spark. But there's nothing really that you can do. Put your hands in your pockets, try to get through the distance between the daylight and the dawn. And the front porch flags lie themselves down like forgotten soldiers or old wedding gowns in closets unopened and graves without any marks. As the night curtains lower behind the rooftops, shadows dance across the sidewalks, ricochet off of the houses like pieces of art. And your mind is reeling as the sky is changing all you're feeling. You're rearranging the rest of your life like lines on an old sailor's chart. You climb back in, fire the ignition, put your hands on the wheel, head into the distance between the daylight and the dawn. Yeah, trying to keep my eye on some of the comments. A lot of Nanci Griffith fans amongst us. I never told an audience this. People who know me know this. I once sent a dozen roses to Nanci Griffith at Symphony Hall in Boston. It was before I got sober. So I've been sober 31 years. So it was maybe 32 years ago. Her music was a lifesaver to me. And God, I was struggling and suffering, and I really needed to get sober. And I soon after did get sober. I could turn to Nanci's songs for comfort as I struggled. And her songs meant the world to me and still do. They gave me some comfort, and I wanted to thank her for that. And so I sent a bunch of roses to the show she was playing at Symphony Hall with the Blue Moon Orchestra, which was really just a block away from where I was, which was the Dixie Kitchen restaurant where I was working. I was working in the kitchen. I couldn't get to the show because I had to work. But I wanted to thank the the artist that I loved most, which was Nanci Griffith. And I wonder if she ever got those flowers. I never did ask her. I didn't have the courage once I got to know her, which was a long time after 20 years later. I didn't figure she'd remember some stranger's flowers 20 years prior, but hey, look, when you love an artist, you love an artist, and I'm a big, big fan, and always have been. So here's something I wrote in my book about Nanci. Some of you have heard it, but I'm going to read it again because it sure does need reading today, on the day after the death of the great artist herself. The first year I lived in Nashville, I was invited to a party at music photographer Jim McGuire's house that became a song circle with Guy Clark, Lyle Lovett, John Hyatt, Joe Ely, Steve Earle, and Nanci Griffith. It was a wonderful night, and I was on the edge of my seat, desperately wanting to go from being in the audience to swapping songs with that group of legends. I knew I was in deep waters. I was the new kid in town, but oh, how I longed to sit in that circle. I'd deeply admired everyone in it for years. As the music was winding down, Nanci looked over and asked, "Mary, would you play us a song?" I knew her because I'd opened a string of shows for her a month prior. I was absolutely thrilled when she invited me to play. I sat in the chair she offered, took her guitar into my hands, and I played Our Lady of the Shooting Stars. The other songwriters closed their eyes and nodded as I played. Some even smiled. There was no wild applause or pyrotechnics when the song ended, but the nods and the smiles made me feel like maybe I belonged. I still had a long way to go, but joining that circle was validation that moving to Nashville had been a good decision for me. Holding my own in that circle of songwriters whose records I owned and whose careers I followed gave me confidence. Being around songwriters I deeply admired humanized them and made the star I was reaching for feel less distant. When I was done, I handed Nanci her guitar back. She shook her head and said, "Keep it." I froze, holding her engraved signature Sunburst Taylor 612 cutaway guitar in my hands mid-air, question marks in both of my eyes. "It's yours," she said. "When I moved to Nashville, Harlan Howard gave me his guitar. I'm giving you mine." I was speechless, but I somehow found the courage to say, "Will you sign it?" And she did. She signed it for Mary, because you will sing. Whew. I found out later it's an old Nashville tradition to pass on a guitar. It's an attempt to stay on the good side of the muse and the mystery. Some songwriters believe it is one way to keep songs flowing. Harlan gave Nanci one of his guitars because he felt there were no more songs left in it for him, but there might be some in there for her. Nanci had done the same for me. Welcome to Nashville, kid. Remember to stay on the good side of mystery and paradox. They are your wheelhouse now. Our Lady of the Shooting Stars, was that you last night? Did we dance a whispered waltz? Did I hold you in my sight? When morning came with open arms, she lifted you from me. Sunlight burned my eyes away, now I cannot see. Our Lady of the Shooting Stars, as I faced the early light, all that I can think of now is joining you in flight. But I followed Gypsy's girl, lost my way home, held the phoenix to my chest and ended up alone. And if I move to you, will you move to me? If I move to you, will you move to me? Our Lady of the Shooting Stars, teach me how to know. I want to feel my thoughts go dark and rest inside your flow. I'll awaken without fear, breathe the cool, clean air. With your words on my lips, your will is my prayer. And if I move to you, will you move to me? If I move to you, will you move to me? Our Lady of the Shooting Stars, look what you've done. You led me to the water's edge, running from the sun. Are you in the briny mist? Do seagulls scream your name? Their wings suspended by your love, or do I reach in vain? If I move to you, will you move to me? If I move to you, will you move to me? Yeah. Jim McGuire is a famous music photographer. He shot a lot of Nancy's record covers. He shot a lot of Guy Clark's record covers. He shot The Outlaws, that famous picture of Waylon and Willie and the Outlaws, the cover of that record. He shot a lot of pictures in this town, and his parties were epic. So when I got invited to a Jim McGuire party, I knew I was in for a treat. I had no idea that it would culminate in me being asked to perform in a song circle with those legends, and certainly could have never anticipated being handed Nancy's guitar and told to keep it. Sometimes I feel like Forrest Gump. I keep landing in amazing places with amazing people. I'm deeply grateful. I'm going to read another little bit. I teach songwriting at folk festivals around the United States and the United Kingdom, and I do workshops in Nashville. And here's what I teach. Songs ask this of a songwriter: be vulnerable, be brave, be true. There is a benevolent force trying to push the truth to the surface so that the songwriter and the world can see it. When songwriters are willing to bravely reveal the deeper truths cowering behind walls of self-protection, their songs begin to resonate. Songs are where we can safely tell secrets. A form of self-expression, yes, but more importantly, a form of emotional communication. I try to point my songwriting students down the road to their own voice, which is often the voice they are most terrified of. When they land on the sound of their own voice by revealing the deeper truth of their song, they often weep. The voice that makes them weep is theirs and theirs alone, but is also a bigger voice than the individual and connected to the universal, the whole, all of us. The voice is mighty. It is as important as any voice ever raised. Once a writer finds their own voice, they can't forget that it exists. I hope my students will go out into the world and use their voice. It's their decision, of course, but if I do my job, they are now aware that they are making a decision to use or not to use their voice. This is what I do my best to teach. I am going to bring Italy into the conversation. If the maestro is ready and if I know what button to click.
Welcome to Italy. Welcome to Italy. So everything works, Mary. We are not tech geniuses, but everything is working.
It's working? Well, Jamie set it up. All I had to do was click on, and I kind of failed at that at the beginning, but I think I'm there. I think I'm there.
So thank you, Jamie, for helping us, and thank you, Mary, for inviting me again. We didn't plan this because it seemed it was the ending of this Sunday, but you were free. I am free, and we missed our friends, and so we are here. And now we know that we are here for a reason, also beside the usual reasons, because Nanci Griffith died. So it's great to, in some way, to be together and remember her. You told that incredible story of Nanci Griffith guitar that I remember. So that's a great story. But also on this side of the ocean, I have many people have some stories connected mostly with this album, Other Voices, Other Rooms. That is a great album and introduce many people, and me too, to many songwriters like John Prine, Tom Van Zandt, and many others. So this was a starting point for me, this album. For example, I didn't know anything about towns before. And after listening to Tecumseh Valley on this album, I discovered Towns, and I was right on time to see him live in the 90s. So I am grateful to Nanci for her art and also for introducing me to other people's art. I think that a great album like this one is, and great art is, it not only stands on its own, but it opens your mind in many other directions. So I am so grateful to Nanci. So this is a sad day, but I don't want to be sad. I want to thank her because she opened. To me, to you, and to many others, many paths, many things. Maybe I'm doing this also because one day I bought this album and I listened to this magic song, and in some way I connected with you that on the other side of the ocean were listening to the same album in 1993 in other parts of our life. So it's something like a miracle.
Isn't that amazing? Yes, that was the record. I got on board with Nanci early with the There's a Light Beyond These Woods record. The vinyl was all there. There weren't CDs yet, and that record came out on Rounder and Philo, I think.
Philo, I remember.
Oh God, I love that. There's a Light Beyond These Woods, Mary Margaret. Loved it so much. My friend Sydney said, "You got to listen to this woman. She's talking our language." And boy, was she. And I fell in love with that voice and those songs. So when this record came out in 1993, Other Voices, Other Rooms, I immediately got it. Of course, it was back in the days when you'd go to Tower Records and wait in line on release day to get the record you wanted. And I knew release day, and I got in line to get this record. And this record to me was like going to school. She taught me folk music. I didn't know about folk music in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, where I was. I mean, there was no folk music, and I was starting to learn a little bit about it in Boston by '93, where I was 3 years sober, and I was going to Club Passim, and I was starting to learn some about folk music, but this was a master's course. And like you, she taught me Townes Van Zandt. I needed to learn Townes Van Zandt. She taught me Guy Clark. I needed to learn Guy Clark. She taught me Kate Wolf, Buddy Mondlock. She taught me the players and pickers. She taught me about Jim Rooney, who produced the
Yes.
record, who produced a lot of John Prine records, Irish Dement records. I learned that Jim Rooney used to run the folk club where I was playing open mics at Club Passim. It used to be called Club 47, and Rooney
Yes.
used to run it in the 60s. And all of these dots started to connect. And this record was, I think, an education for hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people on the history of American and not just American folk music, because it goes back into songs from songs that came across the ocean.
Yes.
It did win a Grammy, and it went gold, which is 500,000 copies, and it was a big record for her. And she definitely was an educator. And you know what? I didn't know this, but as I read her obituary, she was a kindergarten teacher before she was a folk singer. So she was an
I didn't
educator.
know.
Instinctively, she was an educator. It was something that was in her consciousness.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
This was an education, a songwriting class for me, and I remember also when I went to the shop and I bought this record, and I remember with my friends we had something like a little band, a group of songwriters in Torino, in northern Italy, and I remember we were listening in the night to this record, and there was some mystery in this thing. This record opened us new doors. Toward different direction, different songwriters. So we could have different dreams in our life, and so this really changes
Yes,
something from me.
that's it.
So
It opens up your mind to possibilities when you get introduced to new artists that you fall in love with.
yes,
I mean,
yes,
in
yes.
many ways, that's what led you to Michelle Schacht, right?
Yes, yes. I met Michelle 1 year before in 1992. That was my really beginning in this thing, and I remember that I was talking with her about Nanci Griffith. So in some way, she introduced me to Nanci Griffith, and then when this record came out, I said, "Oh, I understand now why you were talking me." About her. So it was really a songwriting class, and I learned a lot uh, from this record. I changed many homes during the last 30 years, but this record was always, this CD was always with me. I always remember to
Oh,
carry
yeah.
this with me.
Oh, yeah. It's a
The-
treasured part of the collection. I don't think everybody on the stream knows, so I'm going to tell them that you were classically trained. And it was a poor fit all along. The rules of classical music were too constricting for you. And you found yourself at a Michelle Schacht show and on the train with her 30 something years ago. And you ended up being invited to perform a song with her. And kind of like what happened with me, you just stayed. And
yes, yes,
so she was your first person
yes,
outside of classical music that brought you on the stage and
for
allowed you the freedom to play your heart and to create your own accompaniment to the songs that she wrote. It was a very important part of your development
for sure, for
as a
sure.
maestro, as a master, right? Don't you think that?
She was really the mm, the most important person in the beginning, the turning point, and it happened in some way by chance because that's true. I met her on a train, so this is a train story. I was in Torino, in northwest Italy, and I attended one of her concerts. It was the tour of a great album, Arkansas Traveler,
Oh, that was
and
a great record. Yeah, yeah.
yes, and so I
That was the
really
follow up to the one from
it was
Kerrville.
Short, Sharp, Shocked, and then Captain Swing, and then this one, Arkansas Traveler. That was a great record, a study on American folk tradition with many great bands playing on the record. Uncle Tupelo, Outhouse Flowers, even the band Clarence Gatemouth Brown, and many others. So
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
an incredible. So I said, okay, I have to go to see this concert for some reason. Maybe because in Italy we have Buscadero, the magazine, so they built an audience for this kind of music. And so I went there to listen to Michelle Shocked, obviously, because I am anxious. I was at the concert 5 hours before. Uh, it was raining, and I was there out, out in the rain. I was 20 at that point. Somebody saw me in the rain, the only one 5 hours before the beginning of the concert in the rain, and they introduced me to the club. And so I was there, and I had a chance to talk with Michelle before the show. And for me, as a fan, this was something really special. So we had a little conversation, and the day after, I had rehearsal with the symphonic orchestra I was playing, but I decided not to go there and to go to another city in northern Italy to see another Michelle Shocked concert. And so I took a train, and on the train, I met Michelle. And so I met Michelle, and she actually approached me. Michele, you remember me? Yes. And so we started talking. At that point, in her band, there was Max Johnson, a great violin player that was playing that is her brother, and he was playing in Uncle Tupelo. And Michelle said, maybe you can come at soundcheck and play my brother violin. I say, are you sure? And she said, yes, come. I came, I play her brother violin, and Michelle told me, you are on the show tonight. And that was the beginning of my career in American folk music. Unbelievable. This is the
Incredible.
story.
Well, night before last, on the night that Nanci passed away, we were going through the YouTube performances of Nanci and going down memory lane, and I remembered, and I didn't remember what it was, but I remembered I saw Bob Dylan on TV with Nanci Griffith and Michelle Shocked and Emmylou Harris and Roseanne Cash and Mavis singing
Yes.
backgrounds. And I,
Yes.
I was sober, so I knew I wasn't high. I knew I saw it. And I Googled it, and wouldn't you know, it was the 10th anniversary of the David Letterman show. And it's
Yes.
up on YouTube. And so Carole King is playing piano. Dylan sings like a Rolling Stone, and that
Yes.
is the background singers. Emmy, Michelle
Yes.
Shocked, Nanci, Mavis, and Roseanne. Like, that is a girl group if there ever was one. And it's interesting to watch their faces as it all goes down. And so, yeah.
I
it was
remember that. I remember that because it was right in the year when I met Michelle, and she told me stories about that. That was an incredible group of backing vocals with Bob singing with him like a Rolling Stone. What
I
a moment!
can't imagine they rehearsed. If they did rehearse, they
No.
didn't rehearse with Bob. They rehearsed with the band. And he came out, and I could see in their face, like, oh, he's rewriting it on the spot. He's
Yes.
changing the key.
Yes.
He's
It was a-
changing the words. He's changing the tempo. They were in, and Mavis knew what to do better than anybody because she'd been with Bob for years and knew how to just sing around what he was doing. But I could see, like, some of them were like, whoa, okay, we're
What is he doing here with like a Rolling Stone? Yes, yes. Yes, and Bob Dylan is always like this. Is he keeps it fresh in some way? Every time is not the same old song. So this is uh, very interesting because when you go to also to listen to Bob Dylan, you usually don't recognize anything, but you know something for the
Right.
first time. Yeah,
Right.
so
Right.
that's an interesting way because he's around. It's now 60 years that he is producing record and songs, and in it's sometimes is beautiful, sometimes is not, but it's always unpredictable. It's the mystery of art. I was reading today an old song by Hank Williams, and Guy Clark said Hank Williams said it best. He said it many times. But anyway, he put a questions. Are you walking? Are you talking with the Lord? Interesting question. And then I was checking Bob Dylan lyrics today, and there is the answer. Ain't talking, just walking. You remember this song?
Yes.
So this is the answer, and this is in my mind today, and it was in my mind many times because there is something like a mystery in the art. Maybe we are not talking with this mystery, but we keep walking. And this year also, it's a whole year that we spent walking, spent waiting. The seasons are back, but today is like yesterday. So I have also a song about walking that I want about a walking man without a road. We don't really have a road, but we keep walking. We have to walk. And our friend Bruno asked me to sing something in Italian, and I will do it tonight. The basic meaning is that we are walking men and we have to walk.
This one's for Bruno and Francesca. We love you
Yes,
both.
Bruno and Francesca, our great friends and supporters. I don't know what I could do without them. So I'm really grateful.
Angels in our life.
Yes. Walking man without a road. Walking man without a road. Walking man without a road. They have to walk. Viandanti senza una via, vostro è solo l'andare, fuoco che non sai bruciare, parola che non si può dire, un anno intero a camminare, un anno intero ad aspettare. È tornato il tempo dei fiori, camminare oggi è già come ieri. Caminanti che noga il cammino, caminanti che noga il cammino, caminanti che noga il cammino, iga da camminare. Se gavè da mandar qualcosa, no mande per la infermiera, che laga le man de cera e de cera incerarà. no café da darmi niente. Dimelo prestamente, cammineremo ancora qua. Dio vedaga sanità. Walking man without a road. Walking man without a road. Walking man without a road. They have to walk. L'amore del primo giorno è sempre senza ritorno. Lacrima, nasci di notte. Lacrima, apri le porte. Luna portata dal vento, ti appoggi al mio davanzale. Luna, raccogli il mio pianto, poi scendi e lo porti nel mare. Walking man without a road. Walking man without a road. Walking man without a road. They have to go. They have to go. Iga da caminar.
Nice.
We have to walk. We have to walk anyway. We don't know the direction. There are still some mysteries, but we keep walking.
And even though it looks like a road, it doesn't mean it really is a road.
Yes, yes.
Thank you, Maestro. I love
Thank you, Mary.
that you put that picture of Nanci and that record right there today. It's just so perfect.
Thank you, Mary. Yes, I love so much this record, and as I told before, it was always been with me for almost 30 years.
Yeah, me too. Yeah,
yes.
me too. And I'm still learning from it, listening to it yesterday when I was cooking dinner. I didn't realize it was Guy Clark duetting with her on Do Re Mi, the Woody Guthrie song. I'm like, I know that voice. I traveled with that man. I was like, holy shoot. When I heard the record at 93, I hadn't heard of the Guy Clark.
Yes,
like,
yes. There
I
are
had
still a lot of things. For Kate Wolf, for example, I learned about Kate Wolf from this record. So this is.
I learned about Kate Wolf from that record too. Yeah.
Yeah. My God, what a record! Yes.
Yeah, what a record indeed. Let me play. I'm going to go ahead and play something written by John Prine that Nanci recorded on that record. That
yes.
really brought a lot of people into John Prine awareness who weren't already. And it's The Speed of the Sound of Loneliness. Hang around. I want to bring you back for in a couple minutes, okay?
All right. I'm going to be here.
Let's see if I know how to do this. All right, here we go. All right. So far, I have not hit any buttons that have ejected me from my chair. The technology is not my strength, but it seems as though things are going well. Thank you, Jamie Harris, for setting us up. You come home late, you come home early. come home big when you're feeling small. You come home straight, you come home curly. Sometimes you don't come home at all. What in the world's come over you? What in heaven's name have you done? You broke in the speed of the sound of loneliness. You're out there running just to be on the run. Now I got a heart burns with a fever. I got a word and a troubled mind. How can love that had last forever get left so far behind? What in the world's come over you? What in heaven's name have you done? You broke in the speed of the sound of loneliness. You're out there running just to be on the run. It's a mighty mean and a dreadful sorrow. Cross the evil line today. How can you ask about tomorrow when we ain't got one word to say? What in the world's come over you? What in heaven's name have you done? You broke in the speed of the sound of loneliness. You're out there running just to be on the run. What in the world's come over you? What in heaven's name have you done? You broke in the speed of the sound of loneliness. You're out there running just to be on the run. You're out there running just to be on the run. Such a good song. Oh man, I love that song. And Nancy and John sang it together on Other Voices, Other Rooms, the Grammy Award winning record that she put out in 1993 of folk songs that she loved, and folk singers from all over helped her with that record. I know the Indigo Girls sang on it, Guy Clark sang on it, John sang on it. The list is long and mighty. If you don't have Other Voices, Other Rooms, my goodness, get it. If you want to learn about folk music, it is the great teacher. I'm going to read another piece here. This is, again, from my book, and I'm out there these days reading and selling the book at shows. I am signing the book and bringing it to the fulfillment company that fulfills the orders on my website. So if you get it from my website, it will be signed. And so I hope you do get this book, because I really am proud of it, and I think it's a good read. It tells my story, and it talks about songwriting as a way of finding truth. And the redemptive power of song is what's written on the back. Can you read it? Let's see. There it is. The redemptive power of song. I think songs can be more than just entertainment, particularly when we need them to be. So, about a year into playing the weekly open mic at Club Passim in Harvard Square, where I was learning how to be on stage, just at the very beginning of learning how to be a songwriter, my friend Steve and I went to the Old Vienna Coffee House open mic in Westboro, Massachusetts. Steve said the Old Vienna's open mic was bigger and more high profile than Club Passim's. It was the place to rub shoulders with the New England songwriting community. When we arrived, the room was packed. Amateurs signed up alongside up-and-comers, several who had record deals and songs on college radio. These artists were superstars to me. I'd never met anyone who had a song on the radio. I was in awe. But by midnight, I was restless and uncomfortable in my straight-backed wooden chair. I was considering telling Steve I wanted to call it a night and just go, when Robert, the MC, introduced the next performer. The man took the stage in dirty overalls that clung tightly to his massive belly. He wore muddy work boots and a tattered straw hat. Round-faced with puffy crimson cheeks, his large shoulders and huge head made the straw hat look tiny. His massive belly had the same effect on his guitar. He looked like a farmer fresh from the field. People in the back of the room held back a groan. Robert helped him plug his guitar in. The guy immediately began strumming, hitting the strings without finesse, eyes to the floor, hands visibly shaking, offering no introduction. He looked terrified on that stage. His face grew redder as he started to sing. He began to sweat. The poor soul never looked up. In the cafe, legs were crossing and recrossing, papers were shuffling. It was late, and no one wanted to sit through this. The farmer sang his way through a verse, and then he hit his first chorus. I got holes I can't fill, and bills I can't pay. I'm going to walk in the water till my hat floats away. I looked at Steve. Steve looked at me. This guy was not kidding. This wasn't an act. I quit thinking about the time and my uncomfortable chair. Everybody in the room was looking up at the man on stage, mesmerized. His voice was pitchy, and he could barely play that guitar, but it didn't matter, because we believed him. I went from thinking we had nothing in common to taking in his song with respect, even reverence. He sang the final chorus, I got holes I can't fill and bills I can't pay. I'm going to walk in the water till my hat floats away. As the last note of the song rang out, there was a long silence. No one moved. We just stared up at him. Then a splattering applause from the front as a woman stood clapping with tears in her eyes. Somebody in the back stood too. The applause grew louder, and soon the whole room stood. Steve leaned over and said, that was freaking amazing. I desperately wanted to do what that farmer had just done. I was traveling a road I wasn't sure of, worried I was too old to be starting this songwriting thing, unsure of my quirky voice and my own shaky guitar playing. But maybe, just maybe, age, looks, and mastery of my instrument didn't matter as much as I thought they did. The farmer was living proof. What comes from the heart goes to the heart. His simple songs spoke to the innermost part of all of us, and we loved him. In 10 years of playing open mics, his was the only standing ovation I ever witnessed. A novice had delivered a song that raised goosebumps on my arms. How did he do it? Well, Lucinda Williams said in a newspaper interview, I met a young man who came to me for songwriting advice. I told him, don't be afraid. to dig in to the deepest parts of yourself and face your demons. He gave me the saddest look and said, I don't think I can do that. He was afraid to do that. I felt bad for him. It never occurred to me that someone would be too afraid to do that. I was starting to understand. When a songwriter writes what they care about, what truly matters to them, then boils down each line to its essence, the song becomes a snapshot of their soul. These snapshots are infectious. They go out into the world and become a part of the experience of other living souls. The farmer in the Hat's song connected us to him and made us know we were not alone. I'd listened to, leaned on, and loved songs written by Lucinda Williams, Willie Nelson, Bruce Springsteen, Johnny Cash, Woody Guthrie, John Prine, Nanci Griffith, Patti Smith, beloved faces carved in granite on my personal songwriter's Mount Rushmore. I felt their presence every time I sat down to write. My heroes were iconic. They were larger than life. I could not imagine myself as that. But the farmer inspired me in a new way. He made it seem possible for me to do what he had just done. Watching him win over the audience with a simple but powerful song gave me permission to sing about what truly mattered to me. I was still trying to figure out my own voice. Miles Davis said, man, sometimes it takes a long time to sound like yourself. Well, yeah, that's what I was struggling with, sounding like myself. I didn't yet know what that meant. But the instructions the farmer left me with were, mean every single word. Sing it simple. Sing it plain. Sing it clear. Sing it true. Well, he'd get home at 5:30, fix his drink and sit down in his chair. Pick a fight with mama, complain about us kids getting in his hair. At night he'd sit alone and smoke. I'd see his frown behind his lighter's flame. Now that same frown's in my mirror. I've got my daddy's blood inside my veins. Fish swim, birds fly, daddies yell, mamas cry. Old men sit and think. I drank. Chicken TV dinner, 6 minutes on defrost and 3 on high. Beer to wash it down with another, then some whiskey on the side. It ain't so bad alone here. It don't bother me that every night's the same. I don't need another lover hanging round trying to make me change. Fish swim, birds fly, lovers leave by and by. Old men sit and think. I drink, I know but I don't. Give a damn. Fish swim, birds fly, daddy's yell, mama's cry, old men sit and think. I drank. Yeah, simple. Simple. That's what I was working on in that chapter I just read from, how to write simple. And I think that is actually the hardest way to write, is to write simple. It is often confused with easy, but simple and easy are not synonyms. Easy is a very different thing than simple. Johnny Cash, when asked for advice for songwriters, always said, write simple so everyone can understand it. It's the hardest way to write, simple. And that's what I talk about quite a bit in my book here. And also, it's what I try to do, is get to the heart of the matter, which is never clear. You got to find it. And once you find it and write it, then you got to go to the next place that's dark and find it again. Start over with a blank page and back at zero every single time. And that's why it's hard, and that's why it's always going to be a challenge. And so it is. That's just how it is. So try another simple song here for you. I got me an apartment on the east side, 1411 13th Street. I walk on the tracks by the Cumberland River, over the bridge, past Lover's Leap, and I'm moving on through the pain, through the pain, waiting on another train, another train. Tore a hole in the pocket of the jacket you bought me in that thrift store in Camden Town. Behind the station, you wrapped your arms around me. You built me up, you tore me down. Moving on through the pain, through the pain, waiting on another train, another train. December sunset, I see my breath disappear in the cold winter night. Bums gather in driftwood by the river, whistle blows a lonesome cry. I'm moving on through the pain, through the pain, waiting on another train, another train, moving on through the pain, through the pain, waiting on another train, another train, another train. Hmm. Wrote that song with the great Ben Glover. And every time I play it, I remember playing it at the Grand Ole Opry with Radney Foster and Kathy Mattea singing harmonies with me, and Marty Stewart walking on with Pops Staples' electric guitar and taking the lead. That was a moment. It was on YouTube. I don't have it anymore. I don't know if it's still up there. They took a lot of those Opry performances down. But when Marty walked on, man, the crowd went crazy, and it was a moment. They call it an Opry moment. I got to have that Opry moment. And even if it ain't on YouTube, it's permanently embedded in my memory, and I think of it every time I play that song. It was big. And I'm not big. I tend to be kind of small. So when it goes big, I'm a little deer in the headlights, and also I turn into a very excited teenager as well. Let's get back to Italy, see how the maestro's doing, saying goodbye before we call it. It sure has been nice having you with me today, Maestro. Thank you for your presence and your love, and I think I might even see you next week. It looks like we are going to Denmark unless things radically change.
Yes, this is unbelievable. So I will not believe it until it will really happen, but it seems it will happen. So after the last time I saw Mary in person was November 2019, so a long time ago. So I really can't believe it. We gonna see really soon on August 26th. And I have also incredible news, because speaking about something positive also, as you know, I didn't play a lot in the last years. I played 2-3 concerts, something like that. But in the next 10 days, I will play 3 concerts. And this for me is really unbelievable. It's more than I play in the last 2 years. So I know it's crazy, but it's something like this. I will play at a festival called Folkest in northeast Italy, in Spilimbergo, on August 21st. And I will be finally in Denmark with you on August 26th. On 21, I will be at Folkest, 26th in Denmark, and September first I will play in Venezia, my city. So this is special. So the best 10 days of the year for me. Because, and so I can't believe I will see you and Jamie again, Mary, after such a long time. And it will be something really special to play together again.
I know.
And to
I
make plans
know.
for the future. So I still have dreams, I still have plans and ideas. I can't wait to talk with you and to think what to do in the future, to talk about new songs, to play new songs, and to dream about new records. So I can't believe it.
Well, when all this traveling ends, we are going to be in the studio in December, and we'll figure out
Mhm.
how to make that work. I got to make a record. It's time. I got songs. It's time to make a
Yes.
record.
Mhm.
But first, we'll see you in Denmark. It looks like that's gonna happen, and
Yes.
we'll play that show in Tonder, and
Yes.
then we'll see what's next. Congratulations on getting 3 shows together! Yay! Finally, a little
this is
bit of
something.
something.
It's like a miracle for me because I really can't believe it was my life, and I hope it will be again at some point. But for now, I have this the 10 days ahead of me that will be the best of the year.
Yes, yes,
Mm.
yes. We're excited to play with you. Excited to see you.
Me
It'll,
too, Mary.
in one
And
week, we'll see you unless things
1 week.
change. Things are always changing, but as of now, it looks like it's a go, and we're coming, and that's cool.
It looks like that. It gonna happen, and I really hope it's the starting point for something else. So I
Yeah,
really hope
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So, thank you, Maestro. I love you. We'll see you next week
Yes, thank you, Mary. See you next week in person.
in person.
I
Thank
can't
you.
believe it. Ciao, ciao.
Ciao, ciao.
Ciao.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Delta Airlines emailed me last night about food. So it looks like we are flying to Europe next week. Just a quick commercial. This book is available on my website, hardcover, $30. We ship everything out on Monday. These are signed on my website. If you don't have one yet, please get my book. And I would appreciate you getting it. It took me 6.5 years to write it, and people say they like it. And if you love it, write a review. And if you don't, please don't. Please don't. Also, these are still available. This is a bundle. It's 10 CDs. It's every record I've ever made, all 10 in a box. $50. We send it out in the morning if you order it today. All 10 records that I've ever made in a box. $50 US. We'd love it if you got it. You can get it right there on my website, marygaucher.com. And I'm going to try 2 things before we go today. One is I'm going to play How Could You Be Gone on this. This is this is the guitar that was given to me by Nanci Griffith, and her name was Nancy Claire Griffith, and this is NCG, inscribed in mother of pearl on the 12th fret. And here is where she signed it for me. You can see it there. It says, "For Mary, because you will sing." God bless her. I hope I can get through this. I'm going to try How Could You Be Gone. If you are a fan of Nanci Griffith and you have the feeling of sorrow that we lost a great artist, this is for you. I keep staring at the clock, stumbling round the house in shock. I don't know what I feel, I can't believe this is real. I don't know what to wear, I don't know who will be there. I wanna call, I wanna cry, I don't wanna say goodbye. Turn the key, make the drive, park and watch the cars arrive. Friends I never knew you had. It's moving slow, it's moving fast. I walk by your photograph, hear your voice, hear your laugh. Everybody's dressed in black, I still think you're coming back. How could you be gone? How could you be gone? I'm sitting in a plastic chair, the preacher's words hang in the air. A cross of roses, pink and white, a slideshow picture of your life. Children run across the lawn, they don't understand you're gone. I'm looking for you in the crowd, looking for you in the clouds. How could you be gone? How could you be gone? We all hang our head to pray. The preacher tells us what to say. I don't know what I believe, I just know I have to leave. I walk alone back to my car, I go before the goodbyes start. I've always been this way, you were the only one who could make me stay. How could you be gone? How could you be could you be gone? Well, thanks everybody for hopping in and joining us this Sunday. I don't know when we're going to do this again. I reckon we'll do it again at some point. Next Sunday we're going to be in Denmark. The Sunday after that we're going to be in Ohio at Karen and Linford's festival, the Nowhere Else Festival. And in Ohio. Over the Rhine, my friends Karen and Linford have a festival, so we'll be out there. And the Sunday after that, I'll be in East Lansing, Michigan. The Sunday after that, the Mill Pond Festival in California. The Sunday after that, Sisters Folk Festival. And of course, if any of these dates cancel or if things change, we will go live. Thank y'all for hopping in when we can, and appreciate the tips. I will share them with the maestro. And we love y'all. Thanks for being a part of what we do. May eternity hold you in the hollow of her hand. May a soft wind enfold you as you travel distant lands. May the moon and stars delight you as the daylight dims. Till the morning sun warms your face, till I see you again. May you lay down your struggle beneath a silver sky. May a summer rain inside your dreams sing a lullaby. May there be no more sorrow, no more pain. May you sleep inside the stillness of the night till I see you again. May you never be a stranger. May you never feel alone. May you reunite with family and friends. May they walk you home. May love embrace you in a dance that never ends. May you rest in gentle arms till I see you again. May you rest in gentle arms comes till I see you.